Most AI website tutorials show you how to build pretty landing pages. But pretty landing pages aren't what local businesses actually pay for. They pay for systems that make them money and save them time. So in this video, I'll show you how to build a real booking system with AI, not just a website. A real system where customers book appointments online and the owner runs everything from a private admin dashboard. And the best part? The same system works for dental clinics, salons, barbershops, spas, personal trainers, coaches, restaurants, and more, because the core logic stays the same. Let me show you how it works. This is the booking website we're building today. For this example, I'm using a dental clinic. The customer selects a service, picks a date, and the system automatically shows only the time slots that are actually available based on the business hours and the service duration. The moment someone books a slot, that time disappears for everyone else. No double bookings, no manual scheduling, no back and forth. The customer picks a time, enters their details, and submits the booking. Now watch this. I open the admin dashboard, and the appointment appears instantly. From here, the owner can manage appointments, update booking statuses, edit services, change business hours, block unavailable dates, all without touching a single line of code. And watch this. I'm adding a new service right now. I refresh the public website, and it shows up instantly. That's what makes this valuable. This isn't a static template. It's a real working system that businesses can actually use. I also put together a free guide with all the prompts, the SQL setup, and the deployment steps so you can build it with me step by step. Now let's get into it. We're going to do this in 4 simple steps. Step 1, choose your booking niche. Step 2, set up the backend with Supabase. Step 3, generate the full website with AI. Step 4, deploy it live. And at the end, I'll show you optional upgrades like email notifications and payments. All right, let's jump into step 1, choosing your booking niche. I'll open the free guide I made for this tutorial. You can grab the link in the description below and follow along with me. I put a lot of work into this guide because I wanted to save you the headache of writing prompts from scratch, figuring out the SQL setup, or guessing how the project should be structured. Everything is laid out for you, step by step. So the first thing we need to decide is what kind of booking website we're actually building. I'll head into step 1 and open Choose the Project Type. You'll see the guide already lists a few different booking niches you can start from. You just pick the one that fits the business you have in mind. You'll also notice some options marked as Coming Soon. That's because I'll keep adding new project types to this guide over time, so it grows with you. For today's tutorial, we're going with the dental clinic. So I'll click Dental Clinic, and right away the entire guide adapts. The title, the image, the description, the next steps, everything shifts to match this project. Right below that, you'll see a quick preview of the booking flow and the details the system will collect from each customer. I won't dive into this part. We already saw it working in the demo. What matters is that before we start building anything, we're crystal clear on what we're building. Now I'll go ahead and check off these sections as completed. This little progress tracker is here to keep you on rails. Every time you finish a section, you mark it done, and the guide shows you exactly what's next. And just like that, step 1 is wrapped up. We picked our niche, the guide is dialed in, and we understand the booking flow. But none of this matters without a solid backend behind it. So let's jump into step 2. Setting up the backend. This is where we build the system that powers the entire website. The public side is what customers see, but behind it, we need a place to store everything: services, appointments, business hours, blocked dates, settings, and admin access. For that, we're using Supabase. Think of Supabase as the brain behind our project. It handles the database, the authentication, the security rules, and the connection that lets our website talk to real data. So the first thing we'll do, create a Supabase project. I'll head over to Supabase and click Start Your Project. If you don't have an account yet, just sign up the normal way. Email and password. Takes a few seconds. Once you're in, Supabase might ask you to create a new organization. For the name, I'll go with Profit Studio, just to keep everything tied to my channel. I'll leave the type as personal, and for the plan, we'll start with the free one. The free plan is more than enough while you're building and testing. Later on, if a real business starts using it heavily, you can always upgrade. Now I'll create the organization. Next up, Supabase asks us to create a new project. I'll name this one Dental Clinic Booking so it's easy to spot later. Then we need to set a database password. We won't actually use this password during the tutorial, but it protects the real database connection, so save it somewhere safe. I'll generate a strong one and store it. For the region, pick whatever's closest to your users. This makes the connection between the website and the database way faster. For example, if most of your users are in the US, go with a US region. For this tutorial, I'll go with West US, North California. The rest of the settings? We can leave them as they are. Now I'll hit Create New Project, and Supabase will take a moment to spin everything up. And we're in. This is the Supabase dashboard. Before we run the database setup, there's one thing we need to do first. Create the admin user. This is the account the business owner will use to log into the admin dashboard later. I like to set it up now, before running the SQL, so everything stays clean from the start. On the left sidebar, I'll click Authentication, then Users. Now I'll hit Add User and choose Create New User. For the email, I'll use something like admin@dentalclinic.com. This doesn't need to be the final email. When you're building for a real client, you'll just plug in the business owner's email here. I'll add a password, keep the user confirmed, and create it. And just like that, our admin user is ready. Now I'll open this user and copy the user ID. This ID matters because we'll use it to tell the database exactly which user is allowed to access the admin dashboard. So I'll grab it. Now let's jump back to the guide. Inside Step 2, you'll find the Full Setup SQL section. I'll paste the admin user ID right here, and the guide automatically prepares the SQL code with my admin user baked in. This SQL is what sets up the entire backend in one shot. It creates all the tables, services, appointments, business hours, blocked dates, and settings. It turns on the security rules, and it gives our admin user permission to manage the protected parts of the dashboard. So instead of running a dozen small SQL queries one by one, I packed everything into one clean setup script to keep things fast and simple. But if you want to see what's actually happening under the hood, I also included a step-by-step SQL section right below. That optional section breaks the setup into smaller pieces so you can explore the tables, the starter data, the admin access, and the security rules on their own. For this tutorial, we'll stick with the full setup SQL. It's faster and it gets us up and running in one go. So I'll copy the full SQL code, head back to Supabase, open the SQL editor from the left sidebar, and paste the full setup right here. Now that the full setup SQL is pasted in, I'll go ahead and run it. This might take a few seconds since it's building the entire backend in one shot. And there it is, success. That means everything worked. Before we move on, let's do a quick sanity check. I'll open the table editor, and you can see Supabase has built out the whole structure we need for the booking system. I won't walk through every table one by one, but this is where the website will store all the important stuff: services, bookings, business settings, admin access, all of it. For example, the services are already loaded in here, so the website won't show up empty on day one. And later, the moment a customer books an appointment, it'll land right inside the appointments table. The big takeaway? We now have a real working backend ready for our AI website to plug into. Let me also quickly show you the security side. If we open up the policies, you'll see the access rules are already in place. This is what separates the public website from the admin dashboard. Visitors can use the booking system freely, but they can't touch any of the private dashboard data. Only the admin user we created has that level of access. And that's really all we need to confirm here. So let's jump back to the guide and check off what we just finished. Supabase project, done. Admin user, done. Full setup SQL, done. And just like that, step 2 is wrapped up. The backend is live and ready to go. Now comes the part where everything starts coming together. This is where the magic happens. We generate the actual website. Step 3 inside the guide is pretty straightforward. The first thing we need is prompt 1, the main prompt for our niche. Now, it's a long prompt, but that's actually a good thing. This isn't some random generic prompt. It's detailed, it's been tested, and it's specifically designed to push the AI toward building exactly the kind of project we need. So, I'll copy it from here. For this video, I'm using Google AI Studio. You can use a different AI builder if you'd like, but I find Google AI Studio works really well for this type of web app. So I'll click Open Google AI Studio. Before pasting anything, let me quickly check the model. For a project like this, I always go with the latest Pro model available. We're not asking for a small tweak or a one-page site here. We're asking the AI to build a full website, a booking flow, an admin dashboard, and a real backend connection, all in one shot. So Pro gives us the best shot at nailing it on the first try. Flash models are great for quick edits and smaller tasks, but for the first full build, Pro is the way to go. At the time of this recording, I'll go with Gemini 3.1 Pro. If the name changes by the time you're watching, the rule is simple. Just pick the newest Pro model available. And if you're wondering whether Google AI Studio is free, yes, you can start using it without paying a cent. There are daily limits, but for most people, that's more than enough to build and test projects like this. And if you ever hit the cap, just wait for the reset and pick up where you left off. All right, now I'll paste the full prompt right here and hit build. Now we just give it a little time. This isn't a quick landing page. It's building the website, the booking flow, and the dashboard all together. So honestly, this is the perfect moment to grab a sip of coffee. After a few seconds, Google AI Studio might pop up something called Design Previews. This is just a way to pick a visual direction before it keeps building. You can choose one if you like the look, but for this tutorial, I'll skip it since our prompt already has the design direction baked in. So I'll click skip and let it keep cooking. All right, the project's done generating. Now Google AI Studio asks for the Supabase environment variables. This is the moment where we actually connect the website to the backend we set up earlier. We need two values, Supabase URL and Supabase anon key. So let's hop back to Supabase. From the project overview, I'll open the copy menu. First, I'll grab the project URL and paste it into Vite Supabase URL. Then, I'll copy the publishable key and drop it into Vite Supabase anon key. Quick note, if Supabase calls it publishable key, but Google AI Studio asks for the anon key, don't worry. For this setup, they're the same thing. Now I'll click apply. This pop-up usually shows up automatically, but if it doesn't, no problem. You can add the values manually from the settings in the top right corner. Just open Secrets, drop in those same two values, and click Apply Changes. Once they're in, I always like to refresh the preview so the app reloads with the Supabase connection fully active. And honestly, the first result already looks really solid. The layout is clean, the services are showing up, and the whole thing already feels like a real dental clinic website. Sure, we can polish the images, the copy, the spacing, and all those little design details later. But right now, perfection isn't the goal. The goal is to make sure the system actually works. So let's run a real booking. I'll click Book Online Now. First, the customer picks the treatment they want. I'll go with dental checkup. Then they pick a date. For this test, let's say Friday. Then a time. I'll grab 9 a.m. and continue to the details. Now I'll fill in some sample info, name, email, phone, and a quick note. Then I'll hit Confirm Request. And there it is, request confirmed. So from the customer side, the booking flow is working perfectly. Now let's flip over to the other side, the admin dashboard. I'll click Staff Login. If you don't see this link at the top of your version, check the footer. And if it's not there either, you can always open it directly by adding /admin or /admin/login at the end of the preview URL. Now I'll sign in using the admin email and password we created back in Supabase. And we're in. This is the dashboard where the business owner manages the entire system. Let me head over to Appointments, and there's the booking we just submitted, sitting right there. That means the public website saved the booking into Supabase, and the dashboard pulled it right back. That's the full loop, working end to end. From here, the owner can confirm or cancel any appointment. I'll go ahead and confirm this one. Let's also take a quick look at the Services section. These are the services coming straight from our database. The owner can edit them, deactivate the ones they don't want to show, or add brand new ones on the fly. Let me show you with a quick example. I'll create a new service called Dental Implant Consultation. Price, $180. Duration, 60 minutes. Add a short description, and save. Now when I jump back to the public website, there it is. The new service shows up instantly. And that's the magic right there. The business owner can update the entire website from the dashboard without ever touching a single line of code. There's more in here too. Under Hours, they manage the working schedule. Under Blocked Dates, they can block out holidays or days off. And under Settings, they can update the business name, email, phone, address, and booking rules. So at this point, this isn't just a nice-looking website anymore. It's a fully connected, editable, working system from both sides. The customer can book, the owner can manage, and every piece of data is safely stored in Supabase. But a preview URL won't pay the bills. Real clients need a real website on a real domain. So in step 4, we're taking this thing live, and I'll show you the exact setup I personally use to host projects like this. You won't want to miss this part. The first thing we're doing is saving the project to GitHub. Think of GitHub as the bridge between Google AI Studio and our hosting platform. That way, every time we make changes inside Google AI Studio, we can push them to GitHub, and the live website updates automatically from there. Inside Google AI Studio, I'll open the Settings panel and head over to GitHub. If this is your first time using it, Google AI Studio will ask you to sign in. So I'll click Sign into GitHub and connect my account. And if you don't have a GitHub account yet, no worries, you can create one in about a minute. It's free, and all we need it for is to store our project code. Now, Google AI Studio asks us to create a repository. A repository is basically the folder where all your project code lives on GitHub. For the name, I'll go with Dental Clinic Booking, so it's easy to find later. You can throw in a short description if you want, and for visibility, I always recommend private. Since this is a client-style project, there's no reason for the code to be out in the open. Now I'll click Create GitHub Repository. After that, Google AI Studio shows me every file that's about to be saved. I'll click Stage and commit all changes. And just like that, the project is safely on GitHub. Now let's hop back to the guide. This is exactly why I love using the guide while building. It keeps the whole process clean and organized, so nothing slips through the cracks. GitHub. Done. Now it's time for the part that actually puts this thing on the internet. Deploying on Hostinger. I'll click the Hostinger link straight from the guide. You'll also find the same link down in the video description. And I highly recommend using that link if you want the exact same setup I'm walking you through here. It also helps support the channel at no extra cost to you. This brings us to Hostinger's Node.js web app hosting page. Now, here's the thing. Regular static hosting won't work for a project like ours. We're running a React app connected to Supabase, so we need hosting that handles Node.js, GitHub deployment, and environment variables, all in one place. And that's exactly why I went with Hostinger. It checks every box without the headache. So I'll click View Plans. Here you'll see a few different hosting plans. The key thing to look for is Managed Node.js Web Apps. That's the feature that makes everything we're doing possible. The business plan includes that, and on top of it, you can host multiple websites under the same plan. So you're not paying for hosting just to run one small project. You can stack several client projects on the same account, which is huge if you're building this kind of thing for clients. There's also the Cloud Startup plan if you want more power and more headroom. But for this tutorial, the business plan is the sweet spot. It's the one I usually recommend for beginners. The price is more than fair, and it's powerful enough for almost anyone just getting started with projects like this. And if you ever outgrow it, you can upgrade in a few clicks. So I'll click Choose Plan. Now Hostinger takes us to the checkout page, where we pick the billing period. The longer the period, the lower the monthly price. 1 month is the most expensive option, and honestly, for a real business website, that doesn't make much sense anyway. My honest advice? Go with 12 months at the minimum. Anything shorter just isn't worth it. And if you can go longer, even better. The savings are huge. For this tutorial, I'm going with 48 months. Best value, hands down. And as you can see, this plan also throws in a free domain and a few extra free months depending on the current offer. Now, before I check out, let's apply the coupon. I'll click Have a Coupon Code and type in Profit Studio. And there it is, 10% off. So if you want the same setup, just use the Hostinger link in the description and apply Profit Studio at checkout. All right, I'll hit Continue. Hostinger asks me to create an account. I'll sign up with Google since it's the fastest way in. Then it takes me to the payment page. You can pay with a card, PayPal, Google Pay, Apple Pay, whatever works in your country. I'll use a card. Once the payment goes through, Hostinger shows your payment is done. Let's go. I'll click Get Started. Hostinger might ask a few setup questions, but we don't need to deal with those right now, so I'll just skip them. And we're inside the Hostinger dashboard. From here, I'll head to Websites in the left sidebar and click Add Website. Hostinger gives us a few options, but for this project, we need Node.js web app. Remember, we're not deploying a simple static page. We're deploying a real React app that needs a proper web app setup. So Node.js web app it is. Next, Hostinger asks which domain we want to use. If you claimed a free domain with your plan, you can pick it here. You can also use a temporary domain if you just want to test things out first. For this tutorial, I'll go with my domain and click Next. Now Hostinger asks how we want to deploy the app. Upload files manually or import a Git repository. Since we already pushed the project to GitHub, importing it is by far the cleanest option. So I'll click Continue with GitHub. Hostinger now pulls up all the repositories from my GitHub account. I'll search for the one we created earlier. In my case, Dental Clinic Booking. Select it and click Continue. All right, we're on the Build Settings page. This is one of the most important parts of the whole deployment, so don't just hit Deploy yet. The first thing I want to check is the framework preset. Hostinger usually tries to detect this from the GitHub repository, but it doesn't always get it right. In my case, it picked Express by default, but this project isn't an Express app. To be sure, let's just ask. I'll hop back to Google AI Studio and type, what framework is this project using? And there we go, React and Vite. So back in Hostinger, I'll switch the framework preset from Express to Vite. This is what tells Hostinger how to build the project the right way. I'll leave the branch as main, the node version as is, and the root directory as default. Now let's add the environment variables. These matter because our live website needs the same secret keys we used inside Google AI Studio. Without them, the site will load, but it won't actually connect to Supabase. So I'll click Add under Environment Variables. For this project, the important values are the Supabase ones. I'll head back to Google AI Studio, open the Secrets panel, and copy the same keys we used earlier. First one, Vite Supabase URL. Paste the name, then the value. Second one, Vite Supabase anon key. Same thing. These two are what connect the live website to our Supabase backend. The database, the services, the appointments, all of it. Now, quick heads up. If your project uses any Google AI feature, like an AI chatbot or anything that needs a Gemini API key, you'll need to add that key here too. And here's an important detail. To make sure it works no matter how the AI built your project, add the same key under all three of these names. Gemini API key, Google API key, Vite Gemini API key. This way, your project will find the key it's looking for no matter which one it expects. You can grab the key itself from Google AI Studio by clicking Get API Key, then Create API Key. Name it after your project so it stays organized. And remember, API keys are private, never share them publicly. In our case, this dental clinic project doesn't use any Google AI feature, so we can skip that part. The Supabase variables are all we need. All right, I'll click Finish. Everything's set. Time to hit Deploy. Hostinger will take a moment to build the project and push it live. And there it is, deployment completed. I'll click Go to Dashboard and open the live domain. And just look at that. This isn't a preview inside Google AI Studio anymore. This is the real website running on a real domain. The homepage loads, the services are showing, and the booking system is still fully connected to Supabase. Let me also check the admin side real quick. Staff login works, dashboard's connected, everything's exactly where it should be. So now we've got the full project live. The public website, the booking system, the admin dashboard, and the Supabase backend, all running on Hostinger. Before we move on, let me hop back to the guide real quick and check off the steps we just finished. This is exactly why I keep going back to the guide while building. It makes sure nothing slips through the cracks, and you always know where you are in the process. And just like that, the deployment step is done. The website is officially live on a real domain. But before we wrap up, there's one more thing I want to show you: how to make a change inside Google AI Studio and push it live automatically. Now, before we wrap up, there's one last thing I want to show you, because getting the website live is only half the story. Real websites always need updates. Maybe the client wants to swap out an image, change the main headline, or hide something from the public site. And this is where this whole setup really pays off. Inside Google AI Studio, I'll turn on the Edit tool. This lets me click directly on parts of the website instead of describing everything from scratch. For example, I'll select the hero image, open the image option, and pick a different one, just like that. Now let's also make a couple of small changes with a quick prompt. Nothing fancy. All right, remove the staff login link from the public website. Keep the admin login page working at /admin/login. Also, change the main hero headline to Premium Dental Care Made Simple. And just like that, the website updates. The image is different, the headline is cleaner, and the staff login link is gone from the public side. Now let's push this update to the live site. Since the project is already connected to GitHub, there's no downloading, no uploading, no manual work. I'll open Settings, go to GitHub, and click Stage and Commit All Changes. That saves the new version to GitHub, and because Hostinger is connected to the same repository, it automatically starts redeploying the site. So I'll head back to the live domain, wait a few seconds, refresh, and there it is. New headline, new image, cleaner public header. That's the workflow I wanted you to see. Build and edit inside Google AI Studio. Save the changes to GitHub, and let Hostinger handle the deployment automatically. No manual uploads, no headaches every time you need to update something. And that's exactly why this setup is so powerful for real client work. Now, real quick, before you go, what you just watched isn't some tutorial project. This is the kind of system real businesses pay serious money for. A custom booking website, a working admin dashboard, a real backend deployed on a real domain. Clients pay hundreds, even thousands of dollars for setups like this. I did my best to make this as simple as possible. The guide, the prompts, the cycle setup, the deployment, all of it. But here's the truth. Watching won't get you there. Building will. So pick a niche, follow the guide, build your first one, then your second. And before you know it, you'll be the person businesses come to when they need a system like this. The link to the guide is in the description, along with the Hostinger link if you want the same setup I'm using. I'll also be releasing a follow-up video soon where I'll show you how to add email notifications to this system, so customers get a confirmation when they book and the business owner gets an alert for every new appointment. That section is already inside the guide, ready when you are. That's it for this one. I'll see you in the next video.